Ah, the Northwest USA. Time for another challenge map on the Jurassic Difficulty. Our opening infrastructure is in place, so time to choose our starter Pokemon. And we are going to go for the all-reliable Struthiomimus. If they had a little pros and cons tab for all of these dinosaurs, then the Struthiomimus would say pros, affordable, cons, you get what you pay for. 14 appeal, it's going to get us nowhere fast. We're going to go ahead and rock in 2 batches here because I always end up expanding, and we can definitely afford it with the amount of starting cash that we were given. Now, we should review the exact challenge situation that we are in because it is really interesting, the web of expansion that we're going to have to follow. We have no nature guests and no luxury guests. We only get the adventure guests and we only get the general guest type. We have max 5 emergency shelters. We are limited to only a tiny selection of small herbivores, and feeders unlock at 2.5 stars. That is going to be a pain in the neck because this is set up to be the all carnivore park. The only herbivores we have are these 3. So we have Struthiomimus, Dracorex, and Homalsophile. I've never actually even used this guy. And so Dracorex doesn't even unlock until 1.5 stars. We have all the carnivores. And when I say all, I mean actually all the carnivores. We have a full suite of the avians, and we have a small suite of the marine reptiles. So the goal is to be able to expand and then start using these awesome high appeal carnivores to bring in the adventure guests, but you cannot feed the carnivores out of the feeders until you get 2.5 stars. And it's really too expensive, and it's also you need feeders to be able to have a aviary or the lagoon. So we're looking at these guys to get us started, and we have to get to 1.5 stars running on Mr. Ostrich, Struthiomimus alone. That's the only dino we're going to be able to get until we reach 1.5 stars. Then we can get the Dracorex and pray that those 2 bring us to 2.5 stars. And from there, well, we could really get to close to 2.5 stars and then throw the big carnivores in the exhibit, hope that pushes us over into 2.5 stars, and then immediately go for researching their feeders so they don't go crazy or starve. Struthiomimus is about to enter the park, and I am pretty familiar with being able to set up exhibits for their liking. So we're going to go for a water feature, cutting here along the back, make it kind of large here. And then what they need, where is it? Ground leaf is their food source. Very easy dinosaurs to please. They also like the forest, so because the forest is already here, I want to clear out kind of the front zone of the forest so we at least have patches where we are sure to be able to see them. And there we are. Are they good to go? Here we go, the first dinosaurs released into the park. I kind of wish that they gave you multiple dinosaurs that you could use as your starter, but it seems like they just rely on having you use Struthiomimus as your starter every single time. There we go, batch number 2 is on their way, and they throw the camera into the mountains. You really need to fix that. Now we are currently researching the viewing gallery, and now we also want to be able to research the core guest comfort so that we can have enough guest comfort, the hotel, the bathroom, and the shelter to be able to bring up our guest count. We want to be intelligent with the placement of the shelter because we have a limited number here. I'm not exactly sure why they are throwing that requirement in against us. It'll be interesting. We'll see if it ends up being a pinch and we have to really plan around it. Let's take a look at the major map view. So we have this large zone that we can expand in right now. We get kind of a choke point as you get into the second zone, and then a longer choke point to be able to get into the final zone. With the park layout like this, and especially with the arrival point here on the corner, we're going to have to invest into a monorail system, and it's going to be a very interesting system indeed to have it snaking along here and then make sure that it can snake back. And a final point that is probably one of the most critical ones for this challenge scenario. Now, I know I was reviewing the other ones previously, but they are expecting us to get 20 species fit into this park. Otherwise, we're going to be penalized with a appeal penalty for not having 20 species. 20 different species, and carnivores are the hardest to be able to get to cohabitate, and the park doesn't appear all that large to me. So, as we get... There's this huge hurdle to be able to get just started building carnivores, because we have to get to 1.5 stars with only worthless Struthiomimus. Then we have to get to 2.5 with only Struthiomimus and Dracorex. And then we have to add 18 other dinosaur species, or at least find a way to be able to combat that appeal penalty to be able to reach 5 stars. I want to be able to get the park tours going as quickly as I can. Sometimes I just leave these off, but this time I really want it because it will help me balance out the ratio of adventure guests to the general guests, which is going to make getting the modules for setting up my amenities much easier, so I can get a much better profit margin out of them. When you have only a single guest type, it gets extremely expensive to be able to provide the amenities to keep them happy. Or the modules to keep them happy with your amenities. Man, I could not find the right pixel to be able to place that down. Let's take a look at how hard it's going to be to work out these amenities. Okay, so we get to start with the ice cream machine and the selfie spot. But here, because we're getting 100% general guests, we want this lower. And we want adventure guests higher because we're already providing for the adventure guests, but none of them are there, so we're not getting any benefit from doing so. Jurassic Tour number 1. I have a feeling that with the balance of these guest types, I might be doing a lot of these. We'll see how it balances out. I think it would be fun to work in tours very heavily. I enjoy the exhibits with the look of the tours going through, though honestly they look best at night when they have the lights on, and right now I've switched the graphic settings so that it'll only be day, so that it'll be bright enough, hopefully for some good videos. Let me know in the comments if you liked having the full day-night cycle, or if you prefer it just being brighter all the time. I mean, it is clearer visibility, so I like that part. Time to specialize our staff as much as we can, and honestly, I feel like we got incredibly good roles for our starter staff, though their salaries are a little on the expensive side. I mean, these are level 1 salaries, those are actually pretty expensive, but that means we got really good stat lines. So we already have one set up to be the logistics specialist, we already have one set up to be the welfare specialist, and we already have one set up to be the genetics specialist, which is the configuration that I love to be able to go for. And then we are open to be able to recruit somebody new, probably looking to get a all-rounder added to the team, but then initially buff up their logistics ability so that we can quickly be able to acquire some of those research pieces that we want to be able to get things started. Let's see, is there somebody who's really good right now? I'm not necessarily looking to hire. Oh, hey, cheaper research. He is tiny salary, and he doesn't have a great stat line, even if we train him up. But cheaper research is a really good bonus, and his 2 logistics, once we train him to 3 logistics, is not bad. Maybe we'll just grab him. I mean, I don't care if I spend an extra 5,000 a minute right now. I can definitely swing that, so we'll pick him up. And then what does this boost give? Okay, so he makes about 1,000 more a minute for this training. That's still fine to me because look at this. 5.6 thousand. He's the new guy. He doesn't know how to negotiate. Fresh out of college. No idea. Like, yeah, I'll work for the Dino Park. That sounds amazing. Doesn't know that everybody else is making 5 times as much money as he is. Well, if our starting dinosaurs are lame, we can maybe bring in a few more people if we build a movie theater, and then we can sell some movie tickets. So that's what we're going for here. We're going to be knocking down a bunch of guest attractions. We already have our amenities here, but we want to be able to increase the number of guests coming to the amenities. We just need more people in the park overall. What is drawing on you? I don't see what is over here. Right now, power usage is 2. Oh, it's probably the response team. Alright, we will extend power for them and then get a substation right along the path over here. Why did that not want to connect? There we go. Behold the cinema! Able to generate 100 appeal, the equivalent of almost 10 Struthiomimus. Looks like our power station should be good for a few more attractions, so we're just going to line them up here. See if we can fit them as close together as possible to make as best use of our space. And I would really hope to be able to grab a third one here in the row. Is it going to fit? No, we're at the edge. Oh, darn it. Okay, it has to be out of line. Oh, well. 1 star, mostly due to the fact that we have a movie theater, a lab tour, and a gym. Buy our tickets to be able to use our gym, the most exclusive gym where you can work out with dinosaurs. You know how they do like goat yoga? Maybe we can do Struthiomimus yoga. Yeah, that'll catch on. What kind of storm do we receive here? It is coming, it's coming. I'm gonna guess that it is a damaging storm. That seems to be the default. Yep, there we go. Gonna damage our structures. All right, fix the substation, and then we'll queue up the repairs for everything else. Oh no, not the movie theater. It's so expensive to fix. Now that our amenities are maxed out, we are going to be looking to research the medium amenity. Hopefully once we have a cluster of the 3 medium amenities also maxed out, we will be able to power through and actually start expanding the park. I feel like this is like just a really long slog to be able to get to actually building the park that you wanted to build. The one fun thing is I have always wondered if it is viable just to base a park upon the attractions, because they're relatively cheap. You just need power source for them, and then they're able to provide appeal. They do take up a lot of space, but so do dinosaur exhibits, so it seems like it would kind of balance out, and now we get to really test the theory. It would be more interesting if you were able to have all the different guest types, because that is what they will manipulate, but we don't have that. So even though, so basically we built an arcade here. What's a good example? The fossil zone. So the fossil zone has appeal, 100 appeal, and then it will attract the eco and luxury tourists. We are not able to get eco or luxury tourists, but it will still add that appeal to the park. Pro tip, for some reason the photo booth is the most economical boost for both general and adventure guests that I've been able to find. So we've got those everywhere around the park, absolutely everywhere, and it's definitely boosting our profits. I would like to be able to see a little bit more of an even ratio between the adventure guests and the general guests, because then I would actually probably be able to run these on only 2 modules, and that would increase my bottom line at least a little bit. Small gain, but we're looking for everything that we can find here to be able to scrape up 1.5 stars off of the Struthiomimus. Oh, there's the pixel. I was worried I was not going to be able to get the medium in there. Definitely not going to be able to get a large in that space. So we'll have to get a little bit creative when it comes to finding the large amenity. Oh, I said it as a drink. Okay. We're going to have to switch this over to, I believe this is shopping. There we go. Apply to shopping. And we've got action figures loaded up. I love it. Infotainment. Where's the photo booth? There it is. The photo booth makes more. See? 2,000 more. Even better than TVs. And then for some reason, the ones that only boost the attraction of a single guest really seem like a dud. Oh, I guess it's, you can measure by the number of arrows up that they show. So the selfie spot is only going +1/+1, whereas infotainment is going +3/+3. Okay. Okay. Starting to understand here. Come and enjoy our one-of-a-kind selection of attractions, only available in every general American strip mall. People are clamoring to stay here, so we're having to put up another hotel. I think that we're going to need, yeah, it's time for a new power station as well. I want to be able to squeeze this into a convenient spot. If I can get it blue. Come on, show me blue. It hates me, it hates me. Oh no, our first disease, and we do not have the Paleo Medical Facility. Let's research that real quick and hope that epidemic does not sweep through the... Oh yes, we have it. We haven't built it? Why did I research it and not build it? That was very foolish of me. Paleo Medical Facility. And yeah, I do want it over here. We're building over here because we're planning on expanding to this portion of the park in the future. This is yet another attraction that we're putting down. Hey, I have 5 different ones, but there are 7 modules, so we're going to get all of them. You get a penalty if you build multiples of the same one, so it's really not worth it to build multiples of the same one ever. It'll cut the appeal that we're getting in half, but we're able to get the full appeal as long as we're still building unique attractions. And so we actually have 1 more that we're going to be able to put down. All right, come on. It is spreading fast, so my guess is it could be the common cold, it could be tuberculosis. Would it be avian pox? I feel like avian pox spreads a little bit slower. Place your bets. And common cold. Okay, so we can't do anything about that. But now we get to micromanage the vet to be able to help those with pneumonia. And what... Okay. I would love to hear the explanation of how you guys managed to get into this situation when there's not anything larger than your Jeep around you. Like when there's larger dinos in the area, I understand that the tour gets bounced around, but these are just tiny Struthiomimus. They're docile. They don't present any trouble whatsoever, ever. I know they panic and they'll still like knock stuff around, so I like making fun of the tour guides though. Well, there it is. Keep the blue. Yep, there it is. Now we just get to squeeze the path around and about to be able to get to it. Wonderful. What is the one that I didn't build yet? Oh, it's gonna be the fossil zone. Yeah, fossil zone. Okay. Is it viable to have only attractions? Well, they're currently accounting for more appeal rating than my dinosaurs are. On the other hand, we are still 0.3 stars short of getting 1.5. So time for our next plan, which I'm not sure what it is. I'm gonna have to dream it up. Actually, I forgot. There is one attraction that I have not built, and it is this enormous thing. This could basically be a dinosaur exhibit. It takes up so much space. Oh my gosh, just give me that spot. There we go. And we'll have to run power over here. Loop this path across. We'll cut straight in. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to configure this, or even if we're going to keep it once we're able to get to the point where we can start acquiring the Draco Rex. So I'm not going to do anything too fancy here initially. We just want the extra 100 appeal. Nickel and dimed. All the way up to 1.5 stars. Maybe that'll be the title of the episode. How many Struthiomimus does it take to reach 1.5 stars? If you don't think the answer sounds like a funny joke, then don't try this scenario.
Really?
Oh, thank goodness. If you guys were curious what the number of Struthiomimus actually was, it is 38. 38 Struthiomimus, 7 attractions, and then the additional, what do they call it? The Learning Center, the giant one. Innovation Center. And that gives you enough appeal with the medium amenities to be able to hit 1.5 stars. So we can finally get the Draco Rex and have a second dinosaur species. I've extended this exhibit a little bit, added the viewing platform to be able to see back there, and then we'll be ready to knock these over because the Struthiomimus were already starting to feel a little crowded. I don't blame them with how many were really in there, but now we actually need, for the first time, an expedition center. We have Draco Rex added into the exhibit here with the Struthiomimus that has pulled us up to 2 stars. So we are looking at how we are going to crack out of this and finally expand to be able to bring in the carnivores. We have a plan. The plan is we're going to throw Albert here, Albertosaurus, into a new exhibit, and we're going to bring in so many at a time that we immediately jump up an entire half star to be able to research his feeder. It is kind of a high pressure situation because if we don't reach that extra half star I guess we just have to sell all of them, because if there's no food in their exhibit, then they go just crazy trying to break out. So we need to find a new enclosure for them and fully set it up with amenities. Everything needs to be ready for the guests to go there, so we immediately hit that extra half star. Quick check on what Albert here is going to want in his exhibit. Water, sand, rock, prey, open space. Okay. His security level is 5. That's not that far off from the T-Rex. Our fences are not ready if they're going to try and bust out. Tolerant, needy, resilient. We've been doing a very careful selection of the eggs, making sure that there are no aggressive dinos in this batch of Albertosaurus, because they are one of the few carnivores that are going to be all right cohabitating with some other carnivores that we have lined up. There is this web of dinos. Okay, we have to go to the View Genome Library. Where is it? There's an interesting matrix here. So the Ceratosaurus enjoys living with the Allosaurus, and then the Carnotaurus enjoys living with Albertosaurus. So they match the 2 C's and the 2 A's, but they're different ones. And I was going crazy over what I needed to research and then what I needed to pull out of the fossil expeditions. But our goal is to have these 2 living together, and then later on, these 2 living together. So this guy is bigger than this guy, but this guy is bigger than this guy, and it's a mess. But basically, these 2 are going to be roommates, along with Compsognathus. But we are bringing in Albertosaurus first, just to make sure that we have... Oh no, they're getting over into the wrong exit. You don't want to live over here, my friend. I'm sorry. He's the Struthiomimus alpha. He wants to go adventuring. Alright, we're going to have to tranquilize him and bring him off the fence building site. Otherwise, we can't build this fence. No, don't lead your people over here. You don't want to be over here. Here they come. Alright. Tranquilize them all. If you were curious why that fence was down, it is because I am upgrading that fence to the heaviest electrified fence we have. I would be going all the way up to the heaviest level of fence, but you have to have a higher park star rating to be able to pull that off. And why is our star rating absolutely tanking right now? It's because the fences are not complete, so the people feel like the dinosaurs are loose, even though they're just kind of wandering around over here and there's no way they're actually going to get out by the time the fence completes. Thank goodness helicoptering dinos doesn't actually cost any money. So there we go, the great migration of the Struthiomimus. Did I miss any? There is one more. Headed to the other side of their exhibit. Now the Dracorex Alpha is coming over. No, please, stop this. I need this fence complete, guys. Oh, and one of them actually just straight up escaped. How he got to this other side of the fence, I have no idea. Unless, I mean, maybe he came around and he booked it all the way. They just don't usually behave like that. Alright, get him out of here. Exhibit is set up, so let's get our viewing galleries in place. Make sure that we have a good wide range of vision for the guests. We should be able to connect these off of the same road, get that looking nice. Be able to put another one over here on the lakefront, and we're gonna have to push the lake back to be able to set this up. I should have remembered that I was gonna do that. So we'll go to use the removing water tool, which I hate using every time I have to use it.
Fight in captivity.
There we go. Hey, there's blue. Show me the blue. There we go. Good enough. Beautiful, beautiful. This exhibit's actually starting to look pretty cool. If you guys are wondering what this thing over here is, it was the quarantine zone. I had a dinosaur get... I've even forgotten what it was. It was probably rabies. No, rabies doesn't require quarantine. It usually requires a picture. It's one of the ones that required quarantine, so we got that knocked out. And we got the inoculation research, so that shouldn't be plaguing us. Man, it feels so much nicer that disease outbreaks are not spawning every single... No, don't get him. Get him. Playing the Germany map, disease outbreaks were extremely common, and so I was micromanaging the vet basically the entire game, and I got sick and tired of doing that. So it's nice to be here in the USA where we're able to modify our dinos to be extra resilient. We're even going to try and grab a suite of amenities over here because the star rating improves off of your income, not actually just your raw appeal. Your raw appeal, if we break it down here, right now, what are we going to have to be able to do to hit 2.5 stars so that we can research the feeders for our new carnivores? So we get the appeal rating for our dinosaurs, visible dinosaurs here, 61 of 63. So we're getting 1,700 appeal from them. We have the penalty because we only have 2 species instead of 20. I'm not saying how we're going to be able to reach 20 species. And then we have an extra 800 from all of our entertainment attractions. Those get added together. That gives us how many potential guests. Nope, here. That gives us the potential guests over here. 912 potential guests. Then the actual guests comes down to guest comfort and guest approval. So approval is pretty easy. Dino welfare, incident prevention, safety rating, publicity rating. This one's only from events, and then these are from dinos breaking out, but they all stabilize just naturally if you're running a good park. So this one's very easy to keep high. Over here, transportation rating is going to be hard. We could go for a monorail already, but I feel like I'm going to have to knock down some attractions to be able to get the monorail going in. So right now that's just going to hit us pretty hard. We'll get the monorail set up later to be able to bring that up. And then we have restroom coverage, shelter coverage, and the accommodation rating. That gives you the actual guests, and then the actual guests combined with ticket sales and amenities to be able to give you your star rating, which is your income. So, our food, well, we're building new ones of those right now. So we want these amenities up very quickly so that they're ready for when the new guests want to come in to the zone. We'll go ahead and configure them. They'll probably be running at an overall loss because right now we don't have the guests to justify the larger amenity types. But once we drop, did we even count how many of the Alberts? How many Alberts are we going to drop in? We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 Albertosaurus. These guys are about 500 each, so there should be about 4,500. It'll be a little under 4,500 new appeal in terms of these dinos in this exhibit. If that doesn't take us up half a star, I'm hoping that it throws us all the way up to 3 stars, honestly. Okay, whew. I am a little nervous, but I think this is a better solution than just building another 20 Draco Rexes and cramming them all into this tiny exhibit. All right, release via airlift. Gonna have to be careful with that. We are go with the choppas. Oh, I can't do it until they completely complete the drop off for the previous one, so I can't queue them all up, which is kind of annoying. Okay, park appeal went up because we just dropped in 1,000 appeal of the Albertosaurus.
And that is where we are headed.
Waiting for them to get dropped off. All right, let's speed things up. We gotta move fast here. And we're having more injuries over here in the old exhibit. This is why I don't like the populations getting so large. They get challenging to be able to handle in terms of medical purposes. All right, there he is. Now, I am always curious why they don't give you like they show you the stars, right? But why don't they give you a number? It'd be nice to know what this actual number is. Hey, new contract. Okay. Diversity, scientist training. These are all terrible. Tour ride, sure. We'll see how the tour ride in the carnivores goes. Oh no, this is these. But there's the Albertosaurus. He looks like a T-Rex. He looks exactly like a smaller T-Rex. Okay, who's sick and what are they sick with? Avian pox. I believe that we have the treatment for that. So let's get it under wraps before things get out of hand. Please, please. Okay, good. We can queue up the next release via airlift. So the next 2 Albertosauruses coming in. I have a feeling that the Albertosaurus are going to get into a bunch of fights challenging each other for alpha here. Yeah, look at him. He's just a little T-Rex. And honestly, his heavy eyebrows make him look kind of dumb.
Which is very exciting.
I love it. All right, so avian pox sweeping through the original exhibit. New dinos getting dropped off. The vet is not able to handle this. Not at all prepared. Honestly, I kind of want to go in and do direct control, but then we have to put a pause on the Albertosaurus distribution. It's so annoying. And the last buddy going in. So these were all carefully chosen to make sure that none of them had the aggressive trait. I'm a little worried that he's planning a breakout right now. Yep, they're planning a breakout. Okay, that actually damaged it. So we need a ranger team over here as soon as we can. There we go. Fix this fence, please, before he breaks out. Well, we've got access to the avian pox vaccine. I think it's a little late, at least in terms of this outbreak, for it to do us any good. Because if we go back to the map, it sure looks like everybody in the exhibit has caught it already. Are we getting a ranger team over in time? Do we need to tranquilize this guy? Do we need to neutralize the Albertosaur? How happy is he feeling? So, they're right on the edge of not having enough space. They want more open space. They also want more rock, and obviously they need more prey. So we can at least, maybe we can bring them up a little bit higher so their escape attempts are not so frantic. We can destroy more of this forest. No, there's a storm. Why would there be a storm now? We're not going to be able to get over 2.5 stars until after the storm. Oh, this has gotten so bad. No, it's disabling my... Oh, it's a winter storm? We get a cycling of different storms? Okay, so the winter storm doesn't damage anything, but it will lock down our ranger teams from being able to do wellness checks. I believe the ambulance is unaffected, though he is still being very incompetent in terms of actually dealing with this disease outbreak. Wait, is he... Oh no, is he being recalled home because of the storm? Oh no, he's still here. It's just the selector is also broken. All right, well, queue up some more orders for him, and we'll see if we make it through the storm. There's the fence going down. All right. Well, kind of expected it. Yeah, let's open the shelters now. It's a bad idea, but we got to do it. All right, so this guy's busted out. We got to take him down. And then we need a ranger team to be able to come in here and fix this fence. They're all going to come running, aren't they? All right. We're going to have to tranquilize all of them. And then how are we going to get an extra 0.2 stars if this stuff keeps happening? All right, fence. No, he's just walking through the fence. We fixed that fence. Oh my gosh. Please, DLC, just give me a button that tells the ambulance, help everybody in this exhibit. That's all I ask. I am real tired of clicking on sick dinos. Also, why did you think I wanted to click on him? I wanted to click on him. And they are busting out again. All right. Nope, that's not a ranger team. Not a ranger team. We gotta fix this fence and corral them again. We got it, the carnivore feeder. It's unlocked. Now we have to rush, do all the research. Make my Albertosaurus happy so they stop trying to break out. We're only allowed to bring in 2 staff. I'm assigning way more than we need so that we actually get a 44% reduction in the time it takes for them to do this research. Which, I mean, I want this fast. There we go. So it automatically jumped it up 44%. Hang on. I think it should be... Yeah, there we go. We got the reduction there. And they have broken out again. Yay. Yeah, but this time at least we will be able to introduce the feeders, hopefully bring them up to comfortable. What is happening to this guy? Are they enough? No, he's just sleeping. Okay, he's sleeping. These guys are trying to escape. Maybe he's their watchman. Haha, we've done it. We got the live prey feeder here, and with 9 of them in here, I believe they actually want a number of these, like 3. We'll put one over on this side, and then we'll go for one more because we want a few more carnivores in here as well. I want to make sure that it's in range of the ranger station though. Yeah, because they will not... Oh, that one on the side. Well, good thing I checked. This one will not get refilled by the rangers because it's outside of the zone. So we will move it. There we go. Move building. Bring it up over here. I believe I saw this was going to be in range. Double check. And we're good. So good. Let's see their happiness skyrocket. And then once I see that they are more content, we will wake up the 2 that we tranquilized earlier. Right now we're just doing some number control. Oh, he's going to try and break out again. No, don't you realize this exhibit is so much nicer for you now? Well, it hasn't helped matters that they are getting sick with foot and mouth disease. I have to quarantine all dinosaurs with foot and mouth. I don't have a quarantine zone that can hold these guys. I barely have a normal exhibit that can hold these guys. This is where we hope that they all catch it at the same time so that I can research this. Yeah. Well, handling the disease outbreak did not go great. Maybe we should have tried to force a quarantine zone. Everybody eventually caught it, but then they were not considered quarantined, I think because this fence line was shared between them and the other dinosaurs over here. So we're just going to have to rebalance the population now. Our new and improved Albertosaurus. He's blue now. Yeah, I kind of like this better. Just a little bit more color. I think he would look really good with some of the different pattern options, like giving him stripes, but you have to do advanced research to be able to unlock the cosmetics. I don't understand why they're gating the cosmetics, but that's what they do. And with a smaller population, they'll actually be easier to keep content. They had so many in here before that they didn't have enough space in the overall exhibit. And because we want them to get to actually cohabitate with some other species, keeping a smaller, more manageable population is going to be smarter. But we had to push. I didn't know exactly how many it was going to take to get the appeal high enough to be able to hit the 2.5 stars where we could get their feeders. And if we just done it a little bit at a time, then they would have been starving and caused other problems. So we're going to now release the Carnotaurs in there with them. We only have 2. So even though they're smaller, they're not necessarily more numerous. But this is the experiment to see if they are going to be okay cohabitating together, because they say they like each other. I've had plenty of instances where I've tried something like this, and even though they say they like each other, it results in the larger ones killing the others. But because none of these have the aggressive trait, some of them have needy here, which means that they want to be dominant within their own species, but none of them have aggressive. Some of them even have tolerant, which should mean that they'll be able to get along.
Immediately by the horns on its head.
This guy looks awesome. I love with his horns.
Those powerful legs can get this dinosaur moving as well, so probably best to stay out of its way.
Oh, there's first contact. The two groups have met each other. What do you guys think? Are you gonna be? Oh, he's sleeping. All right, that seems to be a show of trust, good faith. Should probably get some more Carnitors. Carnitors? Carnitouruses. Anyway, we should get some more of them. They're at the bottom limit of their population. Oh, which one's going to be alpha? Or are they just being friends? All right. The fighting animations and the socializing animations of the carnivores are basically the same. They always start out the same, so I get a little worried. Delivered. I love this. The Albers move in a group. There's the alpha leading the pack around their patrol of the lake. They're stalking their prey. The alpha will be given first dibs. And then the extra cool thing is that the alpha is from the earlier batch. He's the one who survived the whole disease outbreak, and the other ones are actually different colors, which makes them next to each other look really cool. I love it. These guys just sit. They sit on their hind legs, and then, oh, he's off. He sees something. Where are we going, buddy? Going for a ride. The carnivores are so much fun because they're really fast, and then watching them hunt is also awesome. It's going to be pretty cool to see what we're able to come up with, and we're at the point where things are really opening up for us. We're going to be able to build these awesome carnivore exhibits. I think that the end plan is going to be having a lot of little exhibits of some of the smaller carnivores, and then just a few of the really big pieces to be able to overcome. Oh no, somebody has died. 2 people have died. The first batch of Struthiomimus have their lives are expiring. Anyway, we will want to find some of the really, really awesome over-the-top dinosaurs to be able to combat the appeal penalty, because I don't think we're going to be able to hit 20 unique dino species. Now we have our batch of Compsognathus, and this batch is serving a double purpose. We have actually genetically modified the Compsognathus to be strong. These are going to be the mightiest little guys you're ever going to see. I had to release 3 strong dinosaurs to be able to unlock the Allosaurus, which I want to be one of my big attractions. He's one of the guys who can cohabitate with another one of the carnivores. So we have hijacked the Compsognathus batch to be able to get that trait into them, and it's not really gonna matter, but that's what we went for. Ooh, tuberculosis. Yeah, we want to be able to get this out as soon as we can. No, it's spreading. All the Dracorexes were bred with resilience. They were only selected if they were resilient. The Struthiomimus we were not able to be as picky with. There we have the tuberculosis inoculation. All right, it's everywhere. We're gonna need the inoculation.
Hunter.
Hey, there is the Compsognathus alpha. Look at him. Can you see him? Okay, let's try and select. I could get in a little closer if you click on him. Hey, he's so cute. Okay, so what is he looking for? Oh, he just almost got stepped on there. Almost got stepped on and killed right there, but that would have been a disappointing end to his time. I love how they hop. He is looking for more of his little friends. He's lonely, but otherwise he's happy with the space. He's happy with the cohabitation, and looks like he's happy with everything else. Excellent. Now that he's finding his friends, they're going to secure their territory. They'll probably be able to expand pretty quick because there's 10 of them that are going to be hopping around all over. And then I wonder if they will even take up all of this space. We'll see. We'll check in after the storm and see if their territory actually encompasses the entire exhibit, or if they are just like content to stay right around the food source. The storm knocking out this gate might be the end of the park if the carnivores get over into the herbivores. Okay, I'm pretty paranoid about this one. I am not above doing the scummy delete it and rebuild it to be able to repair it trick if I see that anybody's going to make a run for it. But it looks like we're going to have a ranger team here in time. The goats are making a break for it. The carnivores pray. They know the grass is greener over here. I can't believe they did that. I'm actually worried if the goats are over here that now the feeders won't work and I'll have to destroy and rebuild them. I have no idea, but if we see any starving carnivores, we'll try and remember what's up. It's time for our next carnivorous attraction, and I think it's time to say goodbye to the Innovation Center. You were nice for helping us out in the early game, but now I really feel like we can use this space better as a dinosaur exhibit, because a single one of these carnivores is equal to the amount of appeal that the Innovation Center is providing. And do I want to move or just delete this substation? It's really, it feels redundant now that we have this one set up. I can probably delete it, because I think that is also going to be in the path of, yeah, and then this is just hanging out, so we can take that down too. Yeah, so we'll have the fence come around up and back, and then we'll figure out who we can stock the exhibit with. Oh dear, they are fighting. No! Oh, why? You were getting along so well. You're supposed to like each other.
Asset to be collected.
That's gonna get very expensive if they get in a habit of fighting. So he's needy. He's even tolerant. Why would he get into a fight? Can I still see the traits of the dead one? He's resilient. He's not. If he initiated the fight, that would make the most sense, because the other one was tolerant, and then he just got pushed too far and killed him. Doesn't bode well for the plans I have of my carnivore park, being able to keep them together. They're gonna do stuff like this already. The one other thing I can think of that might cause them to fight is if one of the guys was starving. So he's just like, I have to get food somewhere, so he's gonna fight and kill. So we'll throw down another just general feeder. So there's plenty of food lying around. There should never be a situation where they are starving. And we have the opening of our new exhibit down here with the Ceratosaurus 1, looking boldly around to see his new exhibit. We already have live prey in here. We already have the prey feeder. The rest of his brothers are on their way. Or I guess all sisters. I don't know if we still do the all girl thing. But he's looking for a little bit more forest. He's got plenty more space. I think that this is going to be a perfectly tailored exhibit. Oh, they're fighting for who's going to be alpha. Ceratosaurus 2 and Ceratosaurus 1. And the elder one holds off his rival. Okay, let's see how badly he hurt his sibling. Now introducing Al! Yes, the Allosaurus being dropped into this little exhibit that we have off on the side. I don't want to introduce too many because this exhibit is fairly small, so I have a feeling that space is going to feel cramped for these big guys, but they do pack a lot of appeal. Oh, I want to see them coming in. This guy, all of these carnivores, the one gripe that I would have with them is that they all are going to look just like a T-Rex. They all have the exact same silhouette, and they're just slightly different sizes. And it doesn't feel like I'm building that much variety here. But while he is on his way over, we've pretty much filled up this entire initial zone of the park, so we need to look at where we're going to be expanding next. If we bring up the map here, we can see we have a large zone over here that we're going to want to populate. This, I don't know if you can see it, but the path is already running up this portion. So we're gonna start adding exhibits into this area. I kind of want the path to run a loop around the edge and then have the exhibits in the center. I find that is really easy to be able to add guest support in that kind of configuration rather than trying to add the exhibits around the edge and then not really knowing how much space you're going to need for the guests. The guests always take up, their support always takes up more space than you would expect. Have we dropped him in? Yes, the Alpha Allosaurus. Oh, he's actually pretty cool with the spines. I take it back. You've got some unique defining features compared to the T-Rex. So now we are a little worried. Oh, he's okay with the area, just barely. He is just barely okay with the area. Hopefully that stays the case even with the sibling in the pen. I keep on wanting to speed up by pressing space. I don't know why. Okay. It looks like we are good. It looks like we are good. This is amazing. Wait, nope. Okay, there it is. Population went up. Are they going to fight? Are they going to fight over Alpha? These guys are bringing in, where is it? Over here, 640 appeal. So good. We actually probably want to add another prey feeder. Unless, oh, there's a prey feeder over here. They hadn't added to their territory yet. All right, we'll check back in a little bit, but right now we want to start adding over here. And we have already targeted, I believe I've been developing my piscivores. Let's see, are they ready to go? No, I've just been researching them, I suppose. We have Baryonyx and Suchomimus researched and ready to go. We're going to start digging up their fossils as we prepare their exhibit. We've also got Quasosaurus and Cryolophosaurus here in the piscivore category, but I believe it is the Baryonyx and the Suchomimus that are going to be okay cohabitating together. Not exactly sure how people figure that out or what their relationship is in the wild. Maybe their fossils were found close together, but nevertheless, we should be able to build a fantastic exhibit for these fish eaters. The Baryonyx are being flown into their beautiful new home. You might be saying, these fences look way different. How can guests even see them? Well, guests only see through the viewing galleries, and this is the maximum security fence line. And I'm using it because it actually does not draw on our power system. So while it is more to build up front, it is higher level of security, and then it is also going to be lower upkeep because we do not have to provide power. But we do want to make sure that we have food for these guys. It is the same kind of barrier that we were rushing to be able to research the feeders as we were putting in the other carnivores. This time, not because there was a star barrier to being able to get these, but because you have to have piscivores in the park before they will allow you to research a piscivore feeder. So we're going to assign one of our top scientists to be able to do that. And because she has more skill than is required to be able to complete it, she should be able to knock it out very quickly. We are once again choosing our dinosaurs with the tolerant trait, so only tolerant baryonyx are being selected. Aggressive is a no-go because they are going to be cohabitating with another carnivore, and for these guys, the other carnivore they're cohabitating with is going to be more dangerous than they are. So we don't want them starting any fights that we're just going to have to pay for in terms of having to repopulate later. We also were able to modify them to be this, like, it's supposed to be a bright yellow. I don't know if the color palette is quite what I was expecting, but they do look kind of fun. Here we go. Missing fish. Yes, we are still working on figuring out how to set up a fish feeder for you. He wants a little bit more rock, and we can definitely do that. Want some of the decorative rocks, so we'll go for that here. And then I would actually kind of been thinking that it would be cool because we built the path all around this zone that we could have all of the exhibits slope up in a hill, so you kind of have a path and then you have the hill in the middle peeking up with all the dinosaurs on it, so you can always look up and be able to see the dinosaurs. I just feel like that would be an interesting effect for the exhibit. Not that it would actually change anything for the happiness of the guests or the dinosaurs, but it would make this zone look way more impressive if this all sloped to a hill rather than it being just totally flat. We already have some elevation difference right here where you climb the hill to be able to get up to this zone, and so if this actually felt like another mountain peak that we had put dinosaurs on, that would just be so cool. Now that we have the expansion begun, we can see that our transportation rating is just abysmal. It's really hard with the starting point right over here. We're actually able to relocate that. We'll probably move it over, and then we're also going to go for starting to establish our monorail, get those initial stops set up, and my idea is that we're just going to bulldoze the attractions that we spammed out at the very beginning. We don't really need them anymore because with only 100 appeal, they're not even as valuable as a single one of these carnivores. So we can just knock them out, not really miss them, and then be able to put in more important infrastructure over there. I am making sure that I am getting, let's see, I needed another Allosaurus. Yes, we had a fight. The little guys took down one of the big ones. I didn't see who started it. But this whole getting carnivores to cohabitate, just because they say they like each other, doesn't mean that somebody else died. Doesn't mean that it's going to work out. Oh, here's another fight. Here's the last Allosaurus. Ooh. Is the big one actually going to drop? These little guys are vicious. I have a feeling that the Allosaurus is supposed to win this. Okay, let's see. Why would they be fighting? So in terms of vitals, he's got plenty of food, plenty of water, plenty of stamina. He's pretty happy. Cohabitation is fine because he doesn't mind living with these other guys. Now, the little guy here who just got driven off, low health, fine on food, fine on water, fine on stamina. He got injured from the fight, but he also, no cohabitation issues. So, why do they want to fight with each other? This is very frustrating and is not making me looking forward to trying to introduce the Suchomimus into the baryonyx exhibit. But I think we're still going to go through with that, and then we're going to swing over to the aviary and the lagoon, which I've had a little bit more success getting the animals to cohabitate, though not perfect success on those either. Wow. On the bright side, as these dinosaurs fight each other, they gain infamy, which makes them more appealing to adventure guests. So it helps balance out the ratio of the guests that we have in the park. I don't think it actually brings any new guests into the park. It just changes the ratio of the different guests that we're receiving. But we still want more adventure guests because that will allow us to run our amenities at a higher profit margin. And we just have this to be able to finish the Suchomimus. Do I care? For 1%. I want to get rid of the fossils. It's only 50,000. We'll do it, and then, wow, I don't have anybody with a 3. We'll wait for someone so that I don't have to spend at least 2 staff on it. All right, goodbye, amenities. It was fun seeing if you were going to be worth it, but turns out you're not. And this is going to be this location of our park entrance once we relocate it. Because when we bring it over, there's really not any reason for guests to go over to this zone. Right now we have a restroom over here and an amenity. But, oh, we have this. We can destroy all these, basically recycle them because guests have, there's nothing appealing over here for them to do. We can just build up more, probably power stations over in that corner once these all get cleared out. That's my plan. Right now the park is pretty power hungry, but honestly that's because we've had so many so many of the attractions. Yeah, resilient. I don't care if you're resilient, I want you to be tolerant and aggressive. Arrival point 1, that's so dull. Grand entrance. Where's your sense of showmanship? Now we can move the building, and with the iconic double paths ready to lead people in, we will nestle it as close as we can right here up against the hospital. And now, everybody panic because there's no way into or out of the park. Don't worry, it'll be done soon. Oh, this is kind of fun. If we get them close enough together, it just looks like a solid run. Why is it no power suddenly? Oh, it's because no paths are connected until the arrival point is done. That's what it is. So we also lost power to everything. Man, moving this in the middle is terrible.
You
There
dealt
we
with
go.
that last objective like a true professional.
And then
You should be
open the
proud.
park. Yes. Now for our monorail station. Oh, I saw blue. I saw blue for 1 second. That's where I want it. Yes. Okay, excellent. There we go. Throw that down. Oh, somebody's ready to go back to their exhibit. I've got to remember which exhibit these guys go to. I think the one horn. Yeah, they go over here. They start with a C, and that's just how I identify them because the rest of the names are gobbledygook. So we throw them back into the exhibit. We watch the monorail complete, and we're going to watch all of our transportation woes disappear as we get this installed. Connect this up with a nice path. Yeah. This doesn't matter because the park was closed for part of that month as we changed the entry point to be able to improve our transportation rating. If we raise the appeal of the park or increase guest comfort, I think that either... Oh, we could get the break-even one as well because we were losing money. Any of these we're going to be able to knock out immediately because we're on a ups. Oh, they want to see transportation rating at 80%.
Keep them as comfortable as possible.
Well, maybe we can't just complete them easily, but we can complete this because we're working on transportation rating right now. Okay, this is the funniest thing. He broke out right here. I'm not sure why. He's completely comfortable inside here, but he broke out, probably got spooked by the tour. Then the chopper came around, started hitting with the tranquilizer dart. He got scared, ran back into the exhibit, and now the ranger's here to fix the fence. The monorail does not like being constructed around power lines. Go figure. Trying to figure out where I want the next station to be. I think I want it to be just down here, maybe off over here actually, because we're planning on extending this entire zone. I want an aviary and I want a lagoon in here, and those can both be pretty space hungry. So we're gonna go across, probably establish this, and then we'll take a peek at what our transportation rating is after that. And then we could even throw in another one off on this side. Oh, there it's given away. I'm researching the T-Rex. Completed Suchomimus. The game's giving away my secrets of what I'm gonna do next. Honestly, I think we throw the monorail station in over here, and then we can have one directly across from it on the other side of this zone. See how close I can get it here. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't mess with the rangers too much trying to get out and do anything. We'll see. We can always reposition. It doesn't look like it's gonna be very good for them to be able to get anywhere. I realized that I've had two completely different ideas of what we can build over here with the aviary and the lagoon, and then also like the mountain exhibit of carnivores, and they're completely incompatible. You can't put the aviary or the lagoon on a slope. So I do think that those are what we want to put over here. So we're gonna lay off on building this into the mountain exhibit. Hopefully we'll be able to do that over in the final corner of the park. Yeah. hopefully we're still able to get to it because it still sounded like a fun idea, but it's just not what I want to develop next. The bare bones for our future exhibits are laid out. They actually fit fairly nicely for what I was looking for. We got a large aviary and we got a pretty large lagoon section as well. There was a construction accident. We can afford it. We will investigate what happened to be able to keep our publicity rating high. But we're finally churning through all of the cash that we had. Wait, who is this? Who starved? A little Compsognathus starved to death. But there's 2 feeders right out here. Why would he starve to death? I feel like that's on him. I do like this aviary hatchery position because this is completely out of the way of where we want to get viewing galleries for the guests, but it's also just right next door for the rangers to be able to go out and help out here. So we're gonna take Ranger Team 4 already has a job. Yep, assigned to post 1. So Ranger Team 5, you guys are going to work out. It has to complete. Oh, no. This is the end of our carnivores cohabitating experiment. These 2 guys just fought to the death. The Allosaurus, who is tolerant, and the Ceratosaurus, here we go, also tolerant. So that means that having these carnivores, even though they explicitly say they like living with Ceratosaurus, and because they both have the tolerant trait, that does not prevent them from fighting to the death. And these killings are getting way too expensive for me to sustain. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to let the smaller, lower appeal ones die off, and we're only going to repopulate the other ones. The only thing that I can think of now, because I was going through a lot of different modification waves to be able to figure out what I was going to do with these guys. So first off, because they naturally liked each other, I thought that I could modify for disease resistance because I just enjoy the convenience of disease resistance. And then they were still fighting. So I was like, okay, well maybe because they're carnivores, they not only have to like each other, but they also have to be bred for tolerance. So I was only repopulating with tolerant dinosaurs, and then they still fight and they still kill each other. So absolutely disastrous strategy on my part. I'm wondering now, do I need to have the defensive trait modified into them? Because if they are going to fight, what if they were just all so tanky that they couldn't really hurt each other? Is that how this works? I've never really used the combat modifications, but I might try it. We have to release some vulnerable dinosaurs before we're even able to research the defensive trait. And we're definitely going to get some of those when we go into our avians, which we're going to go into next. So we may try repopulating some ultra defensive dinos later on. But this experiment has been extremely expensive and has almost bankrupted the park. So we're done for now. We're totally done for now. Speaking of our avians, the aviary is coming along very nicely. This shape was actually extremely convenient to be able to get a viewing gallery that should keep pretty much all of them in view. The avians just naturally want to sit on top of the viewing gallery, so that really does just keep them in view all the time. Let's see, how far along were we in the genomes? Let us do a little checkup on what we've got. 86% on the Dimorphodon, and here 74% on the Marodactylus. We have a chance of short-lived. Here we have a chance of sickly, social, ooh, these guys, terrible genes. Oh well, we're going to begin doing some of these boys. Let's see, how do we want to modify them after the absolute fiasco that was getting the carnivores to live together? What's it going to take over here? Now, over here, I actually do think it's important to add tolerance, even though it completely failed with the carnivores. The point of tolerance is that it increases the cohabitation limit that they have. So the cohabitation slider for animal comfort is reversed of all of the other traits that they're looking for to be comfortable. All the other ones are saying you have to have this much area devoted to forest or this much area devoted to rock. whatever it is that they are looking for. Whereas the cohabitation slider is, I'm okay living with this many other dinosaurs that I don't explicitly like, but then once there are more than that number, I'm unhappy. And tolerance just increases that number, so they're okay with living with more dinosaurs that they don't necessarily like. And the avians are completely ambivalent about each other, except there's 2 of them that don't like each other, and we're just going to make sure that we don't get those in there. And otherwise, it's not that they like each other, but it's not that they dislike each other. So getting the tolerance in there will help them survive and not break out into fights. I wonder if I want to go to 75%. We'll go to 75%. I've been rambling enough in front of a blank screen. And then assign the scientist here to be able to begin working on our very first batch. Let's get this going. Right now, staff specialization has kind of been thrown out the roof just because I have a really large staff and I just want to get things done. Just move things forward, please. But I do think that the tolerance will help if we keep a very large flock population. Yeah, I guess they would be a flock. Everything else is a herd, and then these are a flock. So inside the aviary is nice and peaceful. It's already set up to be hopefully very hospitable for them. I know one of them, the large one, is going to ask for forest later on. We can add some of that, and we have plenty of feeders. Looking around in here is terrible because if you get too far out to be able to see the whole thing, you just conflict with the dome. What did we get here? We got tolerant, and resilient. Beautiful combination. If only they could all be both tolerant and resilient. I wish they would let you go super overboard in terms of the gene mods. That would be great. Just prevent the disease outbreaks, please. That is the one that always gets me. All our staff is ready for training, but we don't quite have the bottom line to be able to bump up all of their salaries. We want to be able to afford putting in these awesome new dinos first, and right now the staff is still sufficient. Let's see, Marodactylus. We might honestly want to be able to push their genome even farther if we can, because we're going to have to mod out sickly and intolerant, and then want to push it all the way over into tolerance. So we'll see how all that works out for us. I want to check in on our fossils. Do we have any more Marodactylus bones? Oh, we do. Excellent. We can just grind up these fossils, put them through the blender. Oh, I got some more Dimorphodon I haven't done either. Okay, so where's strictly the Marodactylus? Okay, so he's maxed now. And then I guess we'll grind up these even though we already have a batch going. If we do another batch, we can add one more modification. Should be what that unlocks for us. And then out on the world map, is there another guy that we want to go for? That is the question. Marodactylus is over here. We could go to this dig, but we have all the fossils that we need. Who is going to be researched next? I believe they have a requirement that you cannot research them until, yeah, your total flying reptile population has to be up to 3 to be able to get it. And then we can get the Pterodon. And then after that, we can get Trophionathus, the big one. And so Trophionathus dislikes Tapajara, but Trophionathus is like twice the appeal of Tapajara, so we're going with him just about every time. I mean, this guy looks cooler to me. If you asked me as a kid, like, who would you rather see, this guy or this guy, just out of the pictures, I think this guy's cooler, but I guess the youth of today, the youth of this game, disagree with me. Here's another fight. Are we gonna lose another dino? All right, let the weak one die, Allosaurus. Bring him down. If you can't there you go. Hurt him up, beat him up. Show him to never fight with you again. But so my theory, my big brain, is like, if I modified all of them for defense, would that mean that he could have, you know, it reduces his chance of dying if he has high defense? He'll more likely just leave with an injury or leave with no injury? I don't know. Honestly, having them injure each other all the time also sounds extremely annoying. So maybe that's not the fix that I want to go for. Now we have to select Compsognathus. Oh, look, he's right there. The little indicator's a little off from his icon. We've been able to go up to the large amenities here, and that has been boosting our profits so much. We're knocking on the door of 4 stars. We even have these medium amenities going strong, which I'm actually very impressed with. They have extreme overcrowding. That's amazing. That is amazing. Just a little bit of overcrowding here. Honestly, we could go to another set of large amenities. If we could fit them in with that level of overcrowding, they're looking at, yeah, like 500, 600 guests who want to be here. Infected food source over here in the aviary zone. I really dislike this because I've often seen it bugged where when the rangers will come and disinfect the food source, it doesn't actually disinfect the food source. And then because of the way that the rangers don't actually go inside the exhibit, the other ones will just pop up as infected, and the dinosaurs will keep on getting infected even though there's no warning indicator. It's incredibly frustrating. Time to release our very first avians, the tiny little dymphadons. Fly, be free, my little friend, but only free within the confines of your cage, please. I actually really like this coloration, making them kind of bluish. They look great. They got those long kite tails. They'd be excellent gliders for sure. And the exhibit is already perfectly suited to their needs. Granted that the avians have very simple needs, but we nailed it. And now we're ready to be able to research farther in. If we go up to research, we should have just unlocked the next level of avians that we're going to want to introduce. We have the pterodon. He had a requirement. Oh, you just unlock him for free. Yes. And then we can get the Trophionathus. Okay, so we're going to begin this research and then look to send out our expedition, our intrepid scientists, to begin digging up the other avians. And I believe this site, oh no, it's different. I remember there was one scenario where you just go to the same site in Brazil to be able to pick up all of them, which was amazing. It was great to know exactly where it was. Okay, now that guests are being pulled to this portion of the park, time to just work on making sure that all of our guest services are optimized. We're going to want another shelter out here, and gotta keep on cleaning up dead dinos. It's infuriating. Alright, so we'll throw down the shelter, and then we want probably a restroom right next to it. They have about the same level of coverage, so I find that I'm often just putting them right next to each other. If we throw it in here, we'll do a check. We'll see if that is going to reach far enough over. And then I saw there was a lot of red over on the other side there. Yeah, this zone over here being red surprised me a little bit. Let's get a restroom over here. No sense in losing potential guests over not being able to find good enough of bathroom coverage.
Request.
Our early Draco Rex batch has begun hitting. You know, they're all old and doddering at this point. So we are replacing them. There we go. Get a new set of those guys ready to go, ready to repopulate. The Draco Rexes actually do have decent appeal compared to some of the other guys that we can be releasing over there. And Marodactylus. Oh no, we were checking in on the guests is what we were doing. Okay, so let's go to management views. No, yeah, over here. And then let's check things out. So shelter coverage. Oh, I built it too far away. Looks like I built it too far away. Bathrooms also a little too far away. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. And then transportation rating right now is excellent. Love to see a really high transportation rating. And then what else are we looking at? The amenity coverage. So we're going to be building more amenities over here to be able to service the guests who want to go to see the aviary, but I want to do so once we have a higher appeal rating in the aviary, because I want to go up to either the medium or the large amenities right off, honestly. But then it's in over here where the coverages are pretty good, but there's a lot of overcrowding at some of these, and being able to go up to the larger sizes would be able to bring in larger profits. I want a really high contrast color to the other avians because otherwise they look very similar. They're all very small. Take away the sickly chance, take away the intolerant chance, push it all the way up to 75% tolerance, and that's what we've got. So no chances of negative traits. They can still get aggressive. Aggressive you can never breed out, but now they have the chance for tolerance. And yeah, the resilience has just been repaired basically. Can't have sickly dinos in there infecting the entire avian colony. And ooh, perfect. The single scientist can do it. Ah, the Marodactylus, such a high chance of being aggressive. Okay. Well, we'll bring in the strong one. He doesn't have tolerance though. I guess we just scrap this whole thing. Aggressive and tolerance should kind of no, they don't cancel out even. Yep, we just scrap these eggs. Darn it. Ooh, the tour has gone down. I've never actually seen this before, though. I have also only rarely run a tour through a carnivore exhibit. We have to go in and wait, how do you do it? Do you clear this? Reopen Jurassic Tour. Okay, I guess we do that. And will that automatically clear away this wreckage? And what happened to my tour track? I do not see my tour. Oh, I guess it's still there. Okay, good. I was like, if they deleted the tour track, I have to rebuild that. That'd be terrible, but they did not do that to me, thankfully. There we go. This is deleting. So we are still in the process of seeing if we can improve the amenities over here. Wow, how is the amenity pulling that many people? How was it pulling? Oh, it's because it was this. It was the gift shop. That's what it was. Well, we'll not be able to fit over here, unfortunately. But we can spin it around to put it where I deleted a attraction over here. So we'll be able to get this in. Much better results with Marodactylus this time. Both of them being tolerant. Excellent to see. And then we are going to go ahead and synthesize another batch. Just so that our population becomes a little bit more stable in there. And then we are still at the dig site to be able to find the next addition to the aviary. We need to configure this. So we go down. Action figures is a pretty good take because it's beneficial to both the general guests and the adventure guests over here. Fossilized Ammonite is a little bit better because it gives you +2 to the adventure guests. Not that you necessarily need it. The other modules will take you well over where you need to be to keep everyone happy. We are so close with that. Wow, stuffed toys is great because it gives you +2 on the general guests, which is the most important. All right, we'll throw on the selfie spot, and then there we go. It's maxed. So it's making 44,000, which is nowhere near the max for a large amenity, but it is making more than a medium amenity. Medium amenities top out around 33,000. So it is still an improvement. It's a step up. It's being able to monetize those overcrowded guests. And we just had an expedition complete, so let's check out how many fossils were you able to bring back for me. Well, these are, here we go. The pterodon, not a lot. It's not even going to be viable, so we're going to have to go back, send them right back out on the chopper. Do we want to go back to the same dig site, or do we want to go to the other fresh dig site? Let's go to the other fresh dig site and just hope that we have better luck over there. That's what I'm saying. I do want to say, to the credit of the piscivores, that they have cohabitated together quite happily. There have been 0 fights between these guys. I'm not sure if that is just specifically because they're piscivores instead of direct carnivores, that they don't have quite the same level of competition with each other. They're only going to hunt each other if they're absolutely desperate, and they have plenty of fish to be able to be happy. So these guys have been doing great cohabitating. So if you want to cohabitate these types of dinos, that's a great idea. The other carnivores has still not been a great idea. Marodactylus ready for release. Let's see these guys. Oh, with their jaws, that's just so cool. All the teeth sticking out. They don't have lips. They were able to develop teeth, but no lips. There they are. They want, let us see, a little bit more open space, water, fish. Easy to please. Very easy to please. The pterodon is being very stubborn. We've gone on 2 expeditions that have been absolute duds. I guess we should have gone over and begun this dig site. I was hoping that there was going to be more. The other 2 sites, I honestly didn't know that we had the 3rd site to be able to go to. So we pulled all the valuable fossils out on our first tries, but the sites weren't quite completed and they just had basically trash left for us. So we've wasted, honestly, a lot of time because you can only run 1 expedition at a time, which is frustrating to say the least. I guess, can you actually build more expedition centers? No, you can't. You're limited to 1. You are limited, yeah, only 1 expedition center may be constructed, and so you can only run 1 expedition at a time. Serious bottleneck, especially when they're asking you to build 20 different species. You know, I've never actually acquired a large power station. I'm kind of curious. I feel like I should go for it. Let's just see what it is capable of doing. Especially because we've got time here while this other expedition is going. Ooh, it's going to take 4 minutes. It's a long time to tie up my best scientists for expeditions. Maybe we hold off. I feel like I'm on a kind of critical path of just constantly going out for expeditions to be able to acquire the new dinosaurs that we want, because we just completed Pterodons, so we're going to start making Pterodons, and then we're going to finish the DNA sequence for Tropionathus, and then we're going to go for our Lagoon dinos, and possibly more after that. You always usually hit a wall at 4.5 stars, and we're going to have to figure out how to surmount that hurdle. So let's see how we can modify the Pterodon, make him a little bit more interesting. First off, coloration. Ooh, red. I love red. The bright orange. I feel like this might be too close to the Merodactylus in there, so we're going to go for red. And then we don't want him to be needy because he's not necessarily in a super large exhibit. Basically what needy or humble says is how large of an exhibit are they going to need. And now, do I care if they are weak? I don't think I do, actually. I mean, I don't want them fighting with anybody. If they do fight with somebody, I mean, I don't want them to lose because they're going to be more expensive than the other ones, but I want to spend my mod points on tolerance. That's what I want. We'll knock it down to 25% chance on weak. So we have even. We took away the chance of becoming needy. It's high chance of becoming tolerant. We'll leave them with weak. We'll leave them with weak. They're all going to be weak but tolerant. Not sure that's a great behavioral combination, but that's what we got. And then, unfortunately, with all those mods, they... oh, actually, I think... Let's see. I have extra training for some of my scientists. Can she go above 10? No, she can't. 10 is maxed. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Pterodon has been added! These guys in red look so good. This is the classic pterodactyl look. So I always thought that there would be a dinosaur called pterodactyl. Have I been lied to? Is pterodactyl the name for these flyers generally? And then they have these specific names like Pterodon? I don't know. He is lonely. He needs more friends. So we'll begin synthesizing another batch for him. And otherwise, his cohabitation is a little strained. There's a lot of other dinosaurs in here. So hopefully that does not push relations too hard. Maybe we'll not be able to add that final dinosaur in here. He is already tolerant, so we've pushed his cohabitation limit to the breaking point, basically. Cohabitation at 50%. Yeah, maybe we don't get the final dino added in unless we eliminate one of the other species. I've been maybe I should not have been adding as many of each species. I was targeting herds. At first I started out with 4, and then I wanted to go up to 6. I didn't feel like that would strain things too much, but I suppose this is where the avians hit their limit, which is unfortunate because, well, I guess Tropionathus is only 216 appeal compared to the Pterodon's 214. So it's not like I'm missing out on a all-star avian appearance. Yeah, we'll just stick with these 3. We'll make a few more Pterodons because they will be more of their own species that should not push the cohabitation beyond their comfort level. And then we'll call it good for the aviary. The dig site of the dino I wanted, Plesiosaurus, is also chock full of Metracanthosaurus bones. So we have to grind up all of these fossils to be able to make space in our inventory. So we'll get our team on it and send out another expedition. This time, bring me back the fish dinosaurs. I want the fish. We have a whole lagoon that's just breeding algae at this point. So we go back and yeah, we can send Shamas. We have just hit 4 stars. The aviary was able to bring us just up and over as we continue to increase the appeal rating of all the dinosaurs in here. Then we're getting more guests at these amenities that we've placed over here, so our profits are going up and up. Ooh, we have a storm incoming. All right, we'll open the shelters. Be prepared for that. We have our very first inhabitants for the lagoon just about ready to go. They are going to be bringing in a lot more appeal over here, and once we have a few lagoon inhabitants, then we're able to research the Tylosaurus, who is going to be an incredible addition. I hope that this is large enough to be able to have several Tylosauruses fit in over here, and they're going to bump our appeal rating through the roof. with the way these scenarios placed 4 stars is about the halfway marker, so the additions of the lagoon and whatever we build beyond that are going to have to wait for another episode. My plan is, actually I'm going to have to go to research to be able to show it off. So we're going to go to the lagoon. I don't think the lagoon is going to get us over the finish line because if we look at this, we're going to have to wrangle an extra, well, it's dropped down now, but we're going to have to pick up basically $500,000 more of income. And I don't think the lagoon is going to get us all the way to the finish line. But what I'm pretty sure will is if we throw in the super hybrids, Indominus Rex and Indoraptor. We are incredibly close to being able to research these. We just need a little bit more T-Rex DNA and a little bit more Velociraptor DNA, and they are going to fit magnificently. It's like, I actually am really happy with the way that the park is coming together. We have this initial zone, we have the aviary, the lagoon, the piscivores are just kind of randomly over here, but then down here is going to be Indoraptor and Indominus Rex. We'll extend the monorail, give it a new stop right here in maybe somewhere in the center, kind of have a dividing line between the two, definitely keep them separate. And that, I am hoping, is going to launch us over the 5-star mark. So if you want to see how that ultimately turns out, stay tuned for the next episode. Until then, thank you guys for watching and have a good one.